On their wedding night, the groom's all revved up for some action with his new wife, but he hits a speed bump. She's wearing a chastity belt. Turns out, during the wedding bash, Ursula's mom handed her this awkward gift with a stern warning not to have kids. See, Ursula and Buendia are cousins, and the family's freaking out about potential freak babies. Ursula's mom knows a relative who had a kid with a pig's tail due to inbreeding.
A mí no me importa tener cochinillo, siempre que puedan hablar.
Buendia couldn't care less, but Ursula's spooked by her mom's warning. So their big night fizzles out in an uncomfortable silence. For days after, Ursula keeps shutting Buendia down, leaving him high and dry with just a little physical contact. This newlywed couple's in a real pickle, and soon the whole town's buzzing about it. With all that pent-up energy, Buendia throws himself into cockfighting, but that's where things go south. One night, Buendia's rooster turns into a feathered fury, taking out Aguilar's bird in no time flat. Aguilar, sore loser that he is, starts running his mouth to save face. The air gets thick with tension, and Buendia's face darkens as a guller hits a nerve.
Vete pa tu casa y ármate, que te voy a matar.
Buendia challenges Aguilar to a duel to the death and tells him to go grab his weapon. Buendia storms home, grabs his spear under Ursula's shocked gaze, and heads out. The nosy neighbors think they're in for a real showdown, but it's over in a flash. Buendia's spear finds Aguilar's throat, and just like that, Buendia's life takes a hard left turn. This wake-up call makes Buendia and Ursula realize they can't keep dodging reality, or more people might die because of them. Even if they end up with a monster kid, they're done holding back their love and desire. The mayor rules it a clean kill. Duels are life or death, after all, and Buendia won fair and square with the whole town watching. But the drama's far from over. That night, Ursula's dog starts going nuts, and when she checks it out, she nearly jumps out of her skin. There's Aguilar's ghost in the yard, looking just as messed up as when Buendia skewered him. Buendia, cool as a cucumber, grabs his spear and tries to shoo the spirit away, but this ghost's not taking the hint. It's there 24/7, even playing peeping Tom when Buendia and Ursula try to get frisky. Its hollow, accusing stare is enough to give anyone the heebie-jeebies. Even so, Buendia's got no regrets. He'd stick Aguilar again in a heartbeat if he had to. He decides it's time to blow this popsicle stand and find the sea he's been dreaming about. There, they can shake off their ancestors' fears and rules, and maybe ditch the Clinny ghost too. Before they leave, Ursula's mom gives her belly a worried rub,
Nunca vas a poder escapar de tu destino.
her words hanging like a ball and chain around Ursula's neck. Buendia's a born leader, and a bunch of young folks jump on his bandwagon. They pack up their families and everything they own, heading over the mountain on a wild adventure. As Ursula's morning sickness kicks into high gear, she realizes she's got a bun in the oven. She picks up a piglet from the bushes, but then turns out it's just a nasty nightmare, but her mom's warning's still eating at her. She's terrified she'll pop out a little piggy. When they hit a valley, she goes into labor and has a boy. She checks his backside in a panic, but there's no curly tail in sight. Ursula finally breathes easy. They keep trekking for months, but the going gets tough. They're walking a tightrope over bottomless canyons, where one wrong step means game over. After 2 years of mountain hopping, they finally hit the highest peak. Buendia's all pumped to see the ocean, but instead, he gets an eyeful of endless swamp. But Buendia's not throwing in the towel. He's dead set on crossing that swamp to find a sea. Problem is, the fog's so thick, they keep going in circles. Eventually, most folks are running on empty, too weak and sick to keep moving. Ursula finally snaps, telling Buendia to give up his delusions. That night, Buendia has a wild dream about a bustling city sprouting from the ground, full of buildings with mirrored walls. A spooky voice whispers its name, Macondo. This strange name hits Buendia like a ton of bricks. He calls off the sea hunt and declares they're establishing a home here. In this place, he says, they'll write their own destiny. Just like that, with a few choice words, he paints a picture so pretty everyone decides to stick around. Buendia maps out streets, lays down the law, and before you know it, houses are popping up left and right. Over time, a lively little town takes shape. Buendia's son Jose grows into a mischievous kid, often tagging along with his old man to catch pretty birds and listen to their tunes. The bird songs attract some unexpected visitors, a band of musical gypsies. Their leader, Melquiades, claims he's hauling the eighth wonder of the wise men's world all the way from who knows where, alchemy. He has his crew bust out 2 wooden crates and pulls out 2 black square rocks. In a hot second, all the metal stuff nearby starts dancing like it's got a mind of its own. The Macondo folks are floored. These backwoods folks have never seen a magnet before and think Melquiades is working some voodoo. But Buendia, always thinking outside the box, sees dollar signs. He's ready to trade the family's last 2 goats for these magic rocks, ignoring Ursula's protests. When Melquiades hears Buendia's planning to use the magnets to strike gold, he breaks the bad news that magnets can't attract precious metals. But Buendia's convinced that while a tiny gold ring might not budge, a whopping gold deposit would be a different story.
No se la puedo vender para ese fin, créame. Déjeme que yo lo compruebe.
Melquiades is impressed by Buendia's go-getter attitude and agrees to the deal. Buendia and 2 buddies spend a week combing the mountains until the magnet finally reacts. He hollers for his friends, but all they dig up is a busted old suit of armor. Buendia can't help but laugh at his own foolishness, and he drags his tired bones home. Ursula, though, demands he get those goats back. She's pregnant and needs the nutrition. Buendia can't argue with that, so he swallows his pride and goes to see Melquiades. Surprisingly, Melquiades is a real stand-up guy. He not only gives back the goats, but throws in some extra goodies, an astrolabe, compass, sextant, and more. He's taken a shine to this young friend of his. Wendy is a mix of reckless and decisive, self-centered yet stubborn, with a head full of crazy ideas and an insatiable curiosity about the world. He's got adventure in his blood, and Melquiades is more than happy to show him the ropes. Buendia hears the word science for the first time and dives headfirst into this brave new world. Day in and day out, he's stargazing, mapping, and itching to find a road to civilization. Buendia sets off on another adventure, but doesn't get far before stumbling upon an old shipwreck. He figures the ocean must be just around the corner and picks up the pace. In a twist of fate that feels like a cosmic joke, it turns out Macondo and the sea are only separated by a patch of woods. If they'd pushed on for just half a day back then, they would have hit their dream destination. While Buendia's lost in thought, he gets the bright idea to connect Macondo with the outside world. He's planning an even longer expedition to beef up his maps. But Ursula's had it up to here with him, neglecting the family. Plus, their unborn kid starts crying at night, as if trying to keep Buendia home. Soon after, Ursula nervously gives birth to their second son, Aureliano. She breathed a huge sigh of relief when she saw his smooth, totally normal butt. But Aureliano's weird pre-birth omens were a sign of things to come. This kid wasn't your average Joe. Every now and then, he'd show off the power of prophecy.
Mamá, la olla se va a caer.
Está bien puesta, Aureliano.
As Aureliano grows up, his weird abilities start to fade. Meanwhile, Buendia stays nose-deep in his science gadgets every day. He gets this crazy idea to make solar-powered weapons out of glass and sell them to the army. One day, Buendia hears some familiar tunes. Melquiades and his gypsy crew are back in Macondo. Stoked to see his old buddy, Buendia invites Melquiades over right away. Melquiades is blown away by Buendia's scientific progress and brings him a special gift, alchemy. He gets all hush-hush, saying if you can control these elements just right, you can squeeze gold out of them. Buendia is over the moon, feeling like he's just unlocked a whole new level. From then on, Buendia holds up every day, obsessing over alchemy and dreaming of striking it rich overnight. Ursula gets fed up with his antics. She's left holding the bag for everything at home. She has to team up with her friends to make and sell candy at the market just to keep food on the table. Buendia's 2 boys grow up, each with their own quirks. Aureliano's psychic mojo is hit or miss, while Jose is built like a tank. The kid can wrestle wild boars with his bare hands. With their parents distracted, the boys run wild, causing havoc all over town. When Buendia secretly melts down their last gold coins for his alchemy experiments, Ursula finally loses it and tears into him.
Sin nada por esta casa, sino que tienes el descaro de acabar con lo poco que nos queda, de tus hijos que están abandonados a la buena de Dios. Van como salvajes, míralo.
Seeing his sons looking like little cavemen, Buendia realizes he's dropped the ball as a dad. He puts his research on hold and starts teaching the boys to read and write, sharing the wonders of the world with them. Just when things seem to be getting back on track, Ursula accidentally walks in on their older son in his birthday suit. She's frozen in shock at the ridiculously large organ.
Equipado para la vida que le pareció normal.